Hello, hello, Melanie here, coming at you today with another off the mat topic. And today we're going to be talking about how to best take care of and advocate for yourself within the healthcare system. Now, if you weren't aware, October is full of health and wellness observances. We've got American Pharmacist Month, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, Health Literacy Month, and World Mental Health Day, just to name a few. And when I was doing my research into each one of these health and wellness observances, it got me thinking about how there's so much power in knowledge about not only the observances, but how we as individuals need to take better care of ourselves overall and advocate for ourselves within the healthcare system. So in today's video, I'm just going to give you 5 tips on how you can do just that. So tip number 1 is to know all of your doctor's names as well as the specialty or the type of doctor that they are. Now that seems kind of simple, but it's so important. At baseline, you hopefully have a primary care doctor, but like most of us, there are other specialties that we see. Women, we have an OBGYN. If you are a diabetic, you have an endocrinologist. If you've got heart conditions, you're going to see a cardiologist. Kidney conditions, nephrologist, lung condition, pulmonologist. You get what I mean. So at minimum, you should know your doctor's names as well as know which type of doctor they are or what specialty they practice in. Have that information written down, keep it in a note in your phone. If you're old school, write it down, put it in your wallet. And if you are a caregiver for someone in your family, have their information written down as well. Having this information on hand is very, very helpful. Heaven forbid, if there's some sort of accident or emergency situation that comes on, you got to deal with your insurance company. Or when you go see a new doctor, the first question that they usually ask is, what other doctors do you see? By having all that information written down somewhere, either in your phone or your wallet, you are one step ahead of the game in taking care of yourself. The next tip, and this is one that I'm extremely passionate about as a pharmacist, is know all of the medications that you are taking. And again, write all of that information down in your phone, in your wallet. Include it with the list of the doctor's names that you have on your phone. What I'm suggesting is write down each prescription that you have and each non-prescription medication. So, are you taking a blood pressure medicine? Are you taking a cholesterol medicine? Are you taking a diabetes medicine? Do you take a multivitamin? Are there any creams, any ointments, any other sort of supplements that you get from the drugstore, from online? Are you sharing anything? I hope that you're not, with a family member or a friend. Anything that you are consuming on a regular basis or once in a while, write all of that information down. Write the name, write the brand name, write the generic name, write what you're using it for and how often you're taking it. Ideally, have the doctor's name that prescribed the medication with that medication. So for example, if you're taking a blood pressure medication and it was prescribed to you by your cardiologist, have all of that written down. So have the name of the medication, how many times a day you're taking it, and which doctor wrote it down. If you ever had a bad reaction to the medication, make a little note underneath that and include that information. For example, going back to your blood pressure medication, let's say Dr. Monroe is your cardiologist and he prescribes blood pressure medication A, you take 1 tablet 3 times a day. Have that written down, the name of the medication, how often, which doctor, and if you've ever had a bad reaction to a medication, whether it's something that's recent or something that happened 25 years ago, include all that information. This is so important because it helps your providers know what you're taking overall, but as your pharmacist and as the person that you're seeing at the pharmacy when you get your prescriptions, it helps us be aware of whether or not there are any side effects, any drug interactions, anything that could be contributing to some sort of symptom you're experiencing. And if you have all of that information down, it just takes some of the guesswork out of the process. The third tip is also dealing with medications, and that's understanding that generic medications are the same thing as brand medications, just cheaper. So a lot of times when you get your prescription written, the doctor will write the prescription for a generic medication. And that's again, it's the same thing that you would take if you were getting the brand name. Same thing if you go to the drugstore and, for example, you're looking for Tylenol. You can have the Tylenol in one box, or you can have the CVS or Walgreens acetaminophen in another box. Tylenol and acetaminophen, they're the same thing. It's just one is a little bit cheaper. Now I can get into the science behind it, but the key here is brand medications and generic medications are the same. They have the same active ingredient. It's just generic medications are a little bit cheaper. If you want to know a little bit more about the science behind it, I'd be happy to go into that, but and nerd out about that. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna move on to point number 4. So point number 4, and that is to ask questions during your appointment. Now I know it can be intimidating when you are at your appointment and you've got your doctor with a mask on and the white coat and the stethoscope, but remember, your doctor, your nurse practitioner, your whomever you're seeing, that person works for you. So yes, they have the expertise and the knowledge and they are going to do their best to take care of you, but at the end of the day, they get paid because you come to see them. It's just as simple as that. So if something is unclear about a diagnosis, about a prescription, about the result of a lab, something you've heard out in community before you have the appointment, it is well within your right and it is in your best interest to ask questions and seek clarification during your appointment. And if the explanation you receive is not clear, just keep asking questions until it becomes clear and you have an understanding. And my 5th tip would be that it is okay to get a second opinion. Just like it's okay for you to ask questions if something's unclear, if you are seeking additional insight, if the doctor's bedside manner just is not jiving with you, whatever the reason it is, you are well within your right to make another appointment at a different place and, see what the result of that appointment or diagnosis is. I've had to do that myself. I remember 10, 12 years ago, I went to the primary care doctor and I felt really dismissed during the appointment. None of my questions were being answered. I felt very disregarded. So I made an appointment elsewhere and I found a doctor that not only took the time to listen to me, but whose bedside manner was so much better that I felt that even though I was dealing with this, scary issue at the time, I felt a lot more comforted. And that's because I took the time out to get a second opinion. So you're well within your right to not only ask questions, but seek medical advice from a different provider if something is just not feeling right. So those are my 5 tips to help you take care of and better advocate for yourself within the healthcare system. At the end of the day, we are responsible for our own health and well-being. So it's important that we do what we need to do to take care of ourselves. So know all of your doctor's names, write down the list of medications, understand that brands and generics are the same active ingredient, ask questions, and seek second opinions when necessary. If you'd like to learn more or chat more about anything that I've discussed in today's video, comment below, or you can always schedule that complimentary consultation with me. Just visit my website, mymoveswithmelanie.com, and we will work together to help you achieve your health and wellness goals.